Ernie Green was the first to graduate from the South since Ernie Green was the first high school student to graduate from the Deep South since the Civil War. Give him a big hand. Put your hands on your feet. Ernie Green and Little Rock Nine and Daisy Bates and L.C. Bates. Yeah, you're right. Ernie, say hello to us, Ernie.
It's a real honor and a pleasure to be here. Reverend Jackson phrased it right. We were teenagers, but we grew up in houses that they taught us that we could make a change. We're still fighting that change. You got to register to vote. You got to believe that you can make a better America. And God bless Jesse Jackson.
A friend, beloved, one of the great writers of our time, David Massey-Ilstra, has written a book, Barack Obama, The Invisible Man. Put your hand, David, stand again. There'll be a book signing today when the broadcast is over with David. You can get this book. It's a book really worth reading. It's readable. It's to the point. Another big hand for David Master. Thank you, David. I want to bring on a few candidates who are here today who are they're welcome to come from now to March 17th. Commitment Rich Township, Calvin Jordan. Please stand, Calvin. Give Calvin a big hand. A candidate for Cook County Assessor, Andrea Rayler. Andrea, come on, give her a big, come here. You got 2 minutes to make your case. Give her a big hand. Once you get these seats, look at her, give her a big hand, Andrea Rayler.
It's an honor to be here. You know, as we wind down Black History Month, we need to wind up a fair property tax system that has hurt this community and the communities that have the least resources to get their property taxes reduced. I'm running for Cook County Assessor because I have the most experience. I've been out into these communities and helped people get their homeowners exemptions and their senior citizen exemptions. And we need to make sure that we have a voice in setting our property tax system correct. It is corrupt, it's a pay-to-play system, and we need to make it right. Those people who've had the worst and the highest tax rates in Thornton Township and Rich and in Markham, this has to be fixed. I'm running for Cook County Assessor because I'm the first person that ever has gone down to Springfield and passed 5 laws that helped taxpayers pay their bills at a lower rate. We need to also have an exemption that I've sponsored for seniors who are 70 years old, who have served in the armed services and make $65,000 or less. They should be off the tax rolls. We need to make sure that seniors do not have to apply every single year to get their homeowners exemption and seniors exemption. That needs to change. A lot needs to change in this system, and I am ready and able to do that, but I was kicked off the ballot, and now I'm back on the ballot. I'm back on the ballot. I matter, we matter, minorities matter, and we need to come and punch 82 for you know what to do to make sure that our property tax system is fixed. Thank you so much.
Well, another man running for the same position who has a case to make, a man that many of us have known for a long time, Fritz Kaegi. Fritz, you're running for Cook County Assessor. What's on your mind? Talk to me, Fritz.
Thank you so much, Reverend Jackson. You know, I grew up, my name's Fritz Kaegi. I'm running for Cook County Assessor, and I grew up just around the corner at 53rd and Greenwood. I went to Kenwood Academy, and I'm running for Cook County Assessor because Cook County residents deserve fairness. My parents still live here at 53rd and Greenwood, and under the current assessor, properties on the south and west sides of the city and the south suburbs have been overassessed. This has disproportionately affected Black and brown communities. On the west and south sides of the county, it's between $500 and sometimes over $1,000 per household. As assessor, I plan to change the program so we can put that money back into your pockets. And what's the alternative? Barrios is going to give the money to Trump Tower and other rich downtown property owners. They get billions of dollars of benefits from this corrupt system. I have the support of the IVI, the Chicago Tribune, Cook County Clerk David Orr, Danny Davis, Robin Kelly, Bobby Rush, other members of Congress, and many of your aldermen representing the South and West sides that have been so hurt by this system. They know that we know they're supporting me because this system is unfair and we deserve fairness. I need you to go out on March 20th, 2018 and vote for change. Vote for me, Fritz Kaegi, for Cook County Assessor. To support the campaign, please go to our website at fritzforassessor.com. Thank you. Thanks, Reverend.
Big hand for Fritz Kaegi. Another man who's worked with us for a long period of time. He's a brother beloved in so many ways on all of our picket lines and our protests. Running for Cook County Board President, Bob Fioretti. Bob, give it up.
Thank you, Reverend Jackson. Thank you very much, everybody from PUSH. Mr. Green, I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you. I think sometimes the struggles of what you did, I don't think anybody understands. And what you did and what students down in Florida, you showed that students can make a change. And students will make a change from the Florida, what happened across the board. It sends chills up my spine just to be able to shake your hand because of what you did, and I do thank you. My name is Bob Fioretti, and I'm running for Cook County Board President because we need change here in Cook County. We can't stand it anymore. We have a racist property tax system that the president and the assessor got a report on the first day they walked into office and said what to do about it, and they haven't done nothing. The violence in our communities continue, and she hasn't done nothing. It is time for change. We need to bring economic empowerment to our community. Why? Because I'm going to tell you, Cook County Board, the contracts that the county gives out, only 12% minority. That's it. You wonder why we have violence in our communities? Because we're not doing anything. We closed mental health clinics. We haven't reopened them in our areas. What do they talk about every time something happens in a shooting like down in Florida? The kid needed mental health. What happens when a shooting is here? How many felonies? It's time to look that everybody needs. We've got to reopen our mental health clinics, and I, as County Board President, will do that. We're going to bring economic opportunity back to our communities. We're going to get rid of all the water, the high water property and property taxes that are happening. When the two candidates just said we are over-assessed on the south and west sides, we are paying $500 more. Why is it that the Sears Tower, which is under assessed and should be paying $40 million more in property taxes? That's the problem. It's because the rich are getting richer in this town, and we know who the property tax lawyers are. It's time for change. Punch 72. I'm Bob Fioretti, and I'm running for Cook County Board President. And thank you, Reverend Jackson.
We did not always have people competing for our vote because we didn't have the vote. So now that we have the vote, we matter. Our votes matter. If you want livable wage, vote for it. Affordable health care, vote for it. Lower tax assessment, more benefits. So I have the right to vote. I honor Dr. King and that legacy. On your feet, say one more time, say, I vote, my vote matters. I vote, my vote matters. Hands, the ones pick cotton, cannot pick presidents. Put your hand together, it makes sense. Sharice Williams is running for 3rd District Cook County Commissioner. Sharice, come on, give Sharice that.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Sharice Williams. I'm running for Jerry Butler's seat. He's retiring, Cook County Commissioner, 3rd District. And when I win, I'll be the first woman to ever hold this seat. So hoping we make some Black history with me. I'm running because our current Board of Commissioners have been too complacent in not giving contracts to Black contractors, to Black employers. I'm running because Ford Heights is paying more taxes than the Loop. And I'm running because they continually cut health care and preventive services for women and seniors. I have a 16-year-old son. I lost my godson to gun violence this past August, which is the reason why I even decided to run. And so I'm running to make sure that no family or community continues to feel that pain. I can only do that with your vote. Punch 94 on March 20th. Thank you.
We've been meeting every Saturday morning since 1966, providing a platform to learn, to inspire. You will listen today. Take notes down because you matter. And if you're a senior citizen, come downstairs and vote. If you want more information about voting, call Betty Magnus at 773-FREEDOM, 773-FREEDOM. We intend to go door to door and house to house. We intend to turn out to vote. We know it when we vote in big numbers. We say when we vote in big numbers, we defy the odds and we win. Again, we thank God for the life and legacy, really, of Lerone Bennett, who will be funeralized this morning. I want Sister Lori Lightfoot to come. No one, in the wake of the police violence in our city and police misconduct and the extreme cost of police conduct, with the money we spent nearly $1 billion on paying for police misconduct, no one has made police more accountable with a clearer face, with strength of character than Lori Lightfoot. Lori Lightfoot, attorney Lori Lightfoot, give us a report on guns and violence and teachers and guns.
Thank you, Reverend. I want to talk to you a little bit about an issue that has resonated nationally and is important here. We have all, I think, mourned the horrific killing in that high school in Florida. And we have seen the pain, not only of those children, but of their families. And that resonates with us, as it should, and we send them our sincere condolences. But folks, here in Chicago, we have a Parkland, we have a Columbine, we have a massacre every week and every month. Every week and every month. Just this month of February, we have to date 26 people who have been shot and killed, 88 shot and wounded, and year to date, 62 shot and killed, 261 shot and wounded. What we are seeing playing out in the aftermath of Parkland is these children taking to the streets, demanding change. They do that because they feel like they have the opportunity and the right to express their outrage. They have found their voices. We need to empower our children here in Chicago and across the country to find their voice, to demand the kind of change to keep the violence out of the schools, but out of our communities. The solution isn't to arm teachers. The solution is to stop the flow of illegal guns and to give our kids some hope. Give them hope that they don't have. And if they have hope, if they have the opportunity, they're not going to pick up a gun and choose that as the way to go. But we need to also hold our elected officials accountable. There are too many here and across the country who have been silent in the face of this carnage and this violence. We are going to the polls on March 20th. You need to know where your elected officials stand on this incredibly important issue that is the crisis of our time. Before you cast your ballot, ask them, where have you been on the question of violence and illegal guns and the lack of investment in our communities? And if they have been silent, you need to vote them out. Thank you, Reverend.
Let's hear for Attorney Lightfoot. You don't reduce gun violence with more guns. Suppose the teacher's in the classroom and the teacher has a bad day, the teacher starts shooting up the class. So suppose the student comes, if the teacher has a gun in Texas, the students have a right to have a gun. And the student got a bad grade, and angry with the teacher. The teacher's writing on the blackboard and the student shoots the teacher. More guns do not make us more safe. You don't put out fire with matches. So you don't put out fire with matches. You put out fire with water. We don't need more matches, we need more water. Dr. King was attacked when he said we've become the most violent nation on earth, Paul. We have in America, we have 350 million guns, 8 million assault weapons. We've seen them shoot up churches, parking lots, Fritz, and schools. These guns have the capacity to shoot a mile and hit the target. Meaning every airplane that takes off and lands is in jeopardy by an assault weapon. We've seen it happen in schools, and churches, parking lots. And so no one is safe until we end the madness. Trump does not have a good idea. He means well. He means well. He doesn't know any better. They gave Trump a test. You can't give these officials mental tests. They gave Trump a test and say, Easter. And he said, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. Christmas, he said, Easter bunny. Then they stopped taking the test. So don't take a man word when you sing Easter bunny at Christmas time and jingle bells at Easter time. We do not need more guns in our classes. 350 million. Now, some of you who are running for office, I want to see y'all other than on election time. Because educating people is a constant challenge. Educating those who've been locked out is a constant challenge. And I know many officials who want votes but have not registered anybody to vote. You assume someone else is to register people for you. We last week we registered voters at Curie High School and Gwendolyn Brooks High School. This week we registered voters at Kennedy King High School. We're not even running for office. Just say if I expect to make jelly, I have an obligation to shake the tree, get the apples on the ground. And I'm here to tell y'all now, we next week on the University of Alabama and Tuskegee and Alabama State, you who want lower tuition, got to vote for it. And so I urge you to vote. I want to express my thanks to you who've been coming every Saturday since 1966. And Ernie Green, you make my heart rejoice today in a very special way. Early voting begins in Chicago, in Illinois. It began already, right, Betty? Early voting has begun already. You can still vote online until March 5th, is that right? Register, you can register online until March 5th. After March 5th, there'll be in your neighborhoods, there will be precincts in your neighborhood and in city, Calvin, and county. There'll be voting outlets. February 21st to March 19th, early voting. 16 West Adams for Chicago, 69 West Washington for suburbs. March 4th, last day for online registration. Go to www.rainbowpush.org and click on Register to Vote. Grace period voting, if you missed the March 4th deadline, you can go to the city or suburban early voting site to register, but you must vote at the same time. In other words, you can register, so I can register and vote at the same time. Give Betty Magnus a big hand for sending me this sheet of paper. on the Jesse Jackson Keep Up Alive radio broadcast, we'll be talking tomorrow about teachers and guns. So should we try that or should we not? I want Mayon to give us one more song, and I want Jeanette to come. I'm going to make a dash in a moment to go to Jerome Bennett's funeral. We feel an obligation to express our condolences to them. But I do want you to stop today, and when we end this meeting, and get David Master Elstro's book. It's a book worth reading. He's the author, beloved. I want us now to stop for a moment, join hands, and bow our heads in prayer. Our Father, our God, bless our nation, bless us one by one, and collectively bless our households. Forgive us for our sins and the foolishness of our ways, and make us better and never bitter. As we touch the television and touch the radio, Lord God, be with us and have mercy on us right now. We know there's nothing you cannot do. We fall down every now and then, but we get back up again over and over again, and you always have a hand that can lift us up. to higher ground. Dear God, see us through, bless us and keep us. We get back up because of your mercy, because the ground is no place for a champion. And so we rise higher and higher and higher. Lift us to glory. Give us the strength to honor those who labored in the vineyard to make this day possible. We thank you for the Little Rock Nine. We thank you for the risk they took, sacrifices made to make this day. And give us that something within to make us fight back and hold on. And then bless our organization. Those who would join the movement today, you don't have to march, just call our number right now and bless us and keep us going. Amen.
Please don't forget to pray for me.
Come on, join in with us. Pray for me.
Go, Chris. Go, Chris.
Pray for me. Oh, my brother, pray for me. When you bow, bow down at the altar. Can I get a witness? Please don't forget to pray for me. Come on, behind.
Go, Mayhan. Go, Mayhan. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. I want Mayhan, give him a big hand for blowing that harp. I want you who are watching our broadcast today around the nation. I want you to go to your website now, www.rainbowpush.org, and join the Rainbow today. We need your help to sustain our struggle. We'll be spending much of this fall. We can take the Congress back this year. We can take the Senate back this year. We can take America back this year. So we can take America back. We have the power in our vote. We have the power. Take it. Come on. Take America.
Come on, everybody say, pray for me. Come on, say, pray, Lord, for me. Oh, my brother, pray for me.
outstanding lawyer who has bailed out many churches facing church challenges, bailed out many homeowners facing homeowner challenges, who is both a lawyer and a minister of the gospel, who brings to us much work and much joy, will bring us our message for the day. As I want you to listen to her carefully. She has a lot to say. We are all kind of caught today between this service and Leron Bennett's funeral, which we respect and adore him so much and his family. A big, big hand for Attorney Reverend Jeanette Wilson, please.
Give Reverend Jackson a round of applause as he's continued on this battlefield for 50 consecutive unbroken years of service, going beyond the call of duty, going beyond our expectations and beyond our individual energy levels. As we look at where we are today, I'm reminded, Reverend, of the 4 lepers who were outside of the city in the Bible in 2 Kings, the 7th chapter. And you'll find these, they say it was 4 leprous men had been put out of the city, outside of the benefits, outcasts, if you will. They were sitting outside the city because they had a condition that the healthcare system of that day would not provide care for them. They were sitting outside of the city without resources, like many of our schools today. They were outside of the city with no family to really speak for them. They had their voices muted because they were outside of the place where one would speak truth to power. They were sitting there and they decided, why sit we here until we die? One of them, I don't know which one it was, and I don't know what color they were because the Bible does not give us a sense of culture or orientation. It merely says they were outside of resources. They were outside of a city that was facing a famine. They were sitting, and people were on the wall making sure that they didn't come back in and contaminate them. They were waiting for somebody to give them something. And it finally occurred to them that no one was going to help them because they were outcasts. They were those who were considered beyond repair. They were those who no one even wanted to touch because their condition was apparently contagious. It was one that people didn't feel comfortable being in their presence. People felt like they had their own situations, and so touching and dealing with their problem was too difficult. And so those 4 men decided perhaps we need to organize, and perhaps we need to figure out a way out together as opposed to sitting here on the sidelines waiting for help to come, waiting for resources to flow that may not come from above in that city. I don't know if they looked up on the wall and saw the guards that were pointing these weapons to make sure that they didn't come back in the gate. I don't know if they just felt so alone that they decided we're in the same predicament. Therefore, let us join together and move from where we are. And so I give you that as a backdrop to where we are today. You have 50 segregated school districts in America. 50 after Ernie Green of the Little Rock Nine have fought and challenged the system to open up doors to let us into the schools. We now, here we are some 50 plus years later, with 50 segregated school districts, not just segregated by race, not just segregated by culture, but segregated by resources, as Reverend Jackson would say. They are underserved school districts where, and it's all over the country. It's not just Chicago. It's not just Baltimore. It's Detroit. It is Alabama. It is Arkansas. It is every major state in this country has a segregated school system where the rich get something that the poor don't get. and you have a concentration of people of color in the poorest school districts getting the least resources, and yet they take the same test. And that's why we meeting with law firms. Those of you who are lawyers are watching, it's your time to be a Thurgood Marshall. It's your time to be a Houston. When we say join PUSH, it is join the movement for change. Why sit we here and let our children languish in ignorance and not be able to read and write at grade level, not be able to use technology, not be able to speak like Carly, because they have no speech coaches in these schools. They have no music teachers in these schools. They can't sing like Mahan and Chris because they're not being taught anywhere. Why sit we here and let our school systems fail every day waiting for somebody to change? Parents, why sit you at home and send your child to school and expect them to learn when the school is not provided with the resources to teach? Why sit you here and watch the buildings in your neighborhood fall down all around your children and you don't do anything? You haven't marched one time. All of these children, you've heard the statistics. How many more kids have to die before we say nobody needs an AK-15? Nobody needs an assault weapon. You're not hunting with an assault weapon. You're using that to kill. That is a military weapon. It shoots down planes. It shoots down people. You don't need assault weapons. We want a ban on assault weapons. It's not enough to say wait till you're 21. Wait for no time. Nobody should be able to buy an assault weapon online or at a gun shop. What are you hunting? Who are you hunting? Parents, you can't keep playing like this. Those children should not have to march on the White House for life. Why sit we here and watch the proliferation of drugs in our neighborhoods? It's not just an opioid crisis, it's a crack crisis. The new industry in our communities, in poor communities, is the sale and manufacture of crack. It is also the distribution of pills and alcohol with the mixture. And then these poor little chemists that never took chemistry or physical science, they're mixing formaldehyde that you embalm people with. They're mixing that with some cheap remnants of what is supposed to be cocaine, and they're trying to get a quick high, and the doctors don't even know what to treat because it's a mixture that they're unfamiliar with. They have to test that product. That is why I say children need science, technology, engineering, and math, because if they knew what it did, they wouldn't use it. Why sit we here? Outside of the resources of the city, nobody is giving these men, these 4 lepers in the Bible, they're not giving them anything. Why sit you in your communities full of paper, full of garbage, no jobs, and you watch everybody else work? Why sit there and not march with Omar to shut down a site? I'm just saying. What you sitting there waiting on? Who's going to come and help you? You think the people that have the 1% are going to try to divide up their 1% to give it to us without a demand? Do you think Ernie Green would have been able to go into Central High without demand? There was an action that caused a reaction. And so, when you look at education, just as an example, suppose all 4 of those were uneducated men sitting outside waiting for a GED to come to them, waiting for job training to come outside. They've already said to you, we have a place for you. You don't have to sit there much longer. We building these prisons. You don't get job training. We just want you to work for nothing. We want you to be a slave. And so those 4 lepers, they figured out, I'm not going to sit here any longer, because if I sit here, I'm going to die of starvation. And then they figured out, if it's the 4 of us that are having the problem, why don't we unite together? And so that is why when Reverend Jackson says red, yellow, brown, black, and white, poor whites, those who are Native Americans, those who are Asians, who are marginalized, you may have a combination of some resources flowing from your native land, but the reality is you're marginalized. You don't have the number of elected officials equal to where your concentration is. They're drawing districts all around you so that you can't elect yourselves. and certainly Latinos and African Americans, we don't have our representative share of political jobs. We don't have our representative share of appointments within the state, the city, the county. We don't have our representative share in the U.S. government. We don't have our representative share of the allocation of economic resources. We're not getting our fair share of jobs and contracts. Why? Because we're sitting here. We're waiting for them to give up what we have not demanded. And so I'm just here to suggest to you, don't sit here any longer. I want us to be like the 4 leprous men. They formed a confederacy. They started talking to each other, and they figured out, well, if we sit here, we'll die. If you sit in your community and watch everyone work, you will die of starvation. No resources will flow. If you keep letting elected officials keep getting elected with, like in the wards, 6,000 votes, you don't vote. You let some state rep get elected with 6,000 votes and they never come to your house, never ring your doorbell, never send you anything, never let you know about jobs and contracts, then you will die without resources. If you sit and watch the hospital in your neighborhood close, the drugstore close, and you do absolutely nothing, then apparently you don't need the medicine that the doctor prescribed that tells you you got to pick it up every 30 days. You got to drive 10 and 15 miles, ride 5 buses to get your pills that you can't afford to pay for because you don't have health insurance and you don't have the Medicare, the Medicaid because you're not old enough yet. Don't sit here. Come together. And we can challenge together anybody. We can change this system. That's why these midterm elections are so important. You're going to meet these midterm people before you ever meet a presidential candidate. You're going to meet a state rep. You're going to meet a county commissioner. You're going to go before a judge before you meet anybody else. So don't you get so nervous and say, well, I can't vote because I'm not real sure about them. Well, you ought to know about them. You keep sitting at your house, looking at your television, talking on your phone. How about you read about these judges? Go over to these courts when you are not before a judge and listen to how they treat people. Go to 26 in California where I went this week and you watch people talking through a glass, won't let you come in the courtroom. You can't even say goodbye to your loved one when they're being sent to jail. It's not right. It's not fair. They send you downstate. Sometimes you've already served your time and then tell you come back in 24 hours. What am I going downstate for when I've already done the time here in county? We can't sit here and let this criminal justice system marginalize our people. It's not right. We must come together and say, we will not sit here. We will not allow this to happen. We're going to move out of our comfort zone. We're going to go and change the laws that impact our black men negatively. We are going to make sure that if you're running for state office in most of the Illinois General Assembly and states across this country, change the laws or don't get our votes. We're not going to sit here and watch you keep getting paid every year and we have double-digit unemployment in our communities. We're not going to sit here and watch black men just run to jail because it's a prison industrial slave system. We're not going to do that any longer. We've made up our minds. We're going to be like those 4 lepers. We're going to get up and go see what's on the other side. We're going to move out into a place that seems unconquerable for us, but we're moving from our positions. We're going where the wicked will cease from troubling us. We're going to go and march and find out what's over there. We're going to see what plunder is there. And then we say, God, I know you're on our side. God, I need you for me. God, I want you to provide for me. God, I know you can. I'm going on your word. I'm standing on your promises. God, I'm standing on your power. I need you now more than ever before. I say, God, I know you are more than the world against me. I'm standing knowing that when you are with me, you are more than the world against me. And so I'm not going to wait for somebody to come. I'm going to wait for you to move in my midst. Move us into a place where God can deliver us. And that is why you should be a part of PUSH. Not because of what it can do for you, but what you can do for yourself. You don't want to sit here. And if you look at what we're doing, we're taking children on an HBCU tour. Why? not because I want to ride a bus for 8 days and 7 nights, but I can't sit here and watch black children not go to college, not have a vision for college because the parents have never been. I want them to see a possibility that no one in their family has ever experienced. I want these oratorical kids to speak before the appellate court because they will become appellate justices one day. I want these orators to be on television so they know our children can speak the King's English. We will not sit here. We are moving. You better join us as we go forth. It doesn't take a whole army. It just takes a made-up mind and a willing heart, and God within us will move us to our destination. Oh, I want you to join with me. Call us right now, 773-256-2775. You need to be a part of this movement. Don't be sitting outside waiting. You are the change that you're looking for.
God has smiled on me. He's been good to
We praise God for Reverend Attorney Jeanette Wilson. Let's give it up. Give it up.
He has set me free.
Oh, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Can we take y'all back a little bit? Come on.
God has smiled on me.
Oh,
He has set me free.
oh, God has
Smiled on me.
Oh, Lord,
He's been
good to me. God has
smiled on me.
and
He has
Come on.
set me.
if you know it, sing with us. Oh, God has smiled on me. He's been good. He's been good. He's been good. Come on. He's been good. He's been good. He's been good to me.
All right, let's give it up. Give it up for Brother Mayhan and Chris. We appreciate them so much. We appreciate their musical talent. Let's give it up one more time for the way the Lord just used Reverend Jeanette Wilson. We thank you all so much for your indulgence. We thank you for your commitment. We thank you for coming out with us every Saturday to make our live broadcast a priority in your life. This is living history that you get to see every time you walk through these doors. As we prepare to close out this broadcast, I pray that you would search your heart and contribute to our cause. Fighting for freedom is not free. We cannot fight Pharaoh on his chariot. We need our own individual, independent chariot. And the only way we remain independent to be that voice of change, to be that reckoning of freedom, to be that force that continues to fight against the systemic injustices that we have, is through your generous contributions. Won't you please give to Rainbow Push today? Become a member. Search your heart, but search your pocketbooks too, and give us all that you can. Reverend Jackson can't be here every single Saturday. He can't be here all the time to make that appeal, but we need you to show Reverend that even in his absence, you are still with him. You are still part of the cause. You still believe in what we're doing. You're still fighting for freedom. So please, right now, if you need an envelope in which to give your generous contribution, raise your hand right now. We've got ushers all over the place that will come to you and hand deliver that envelope. If you would prefer to swipe your card because it's easier to swipe than to fill out the envelope, we appreciate that too. We've got our CFO standing right in front of the stage. He will gladly swipe your card and we can take your contribution that way. Please don't leave this place without giving something. We know even throughout the Bible, those that even had a little, they gave, and God blessed them for what they gave. So we believe that you will be blessed as you give to us building God's kingdom right here on earth. So please give. If you need an envelope, raise your hand. If you've already filled out your envelope and you're ready to make your contribution, please make your way to the aisle and make your deposit into our collection container. If you want to give electronically, you can always text JLJ75 to 41444, and you can give electronically. If you want to swipe your card, please come down front. Otherwise, please come forward at this point and make your contributions. God bless you. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. We want to continue to do what we're doing. We need Rainbow Push now more than we ever have before. We are in regressive times, and it's going to take your contributions to help us fight against some of this wickedness in high places. Thank you so much. We pray that we see you all next Saturday. How many of you all are coming back next Saturday? All right, we're looking forward to seeing you next Saturday. Bring your children, bring a friend, continue to share the message. Anyone who is not able to join us here physically on Saturdays, please ask them to tune in live at rainbowpush.org. All right. Thank you so much, Reverend Jakes, for your contribution. Please be careful as you leave this place, but never the presence of the Lord. I pray traveling mercy and safety over your travels to wherever you're going from here. We love you so much, and we hope to see you next Saturday. Is there anyone else who needs an envelope as others prepare to give? Thank you so much. God bless you. Godspeed.
What's going on? What's going on? Oh, mother, mothers, there's too many of you crying. Brother, brothers, it's far too many of us dying dead. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Fathers, we don't need to escalate. Walk on, war is not the answer. 'Cause only love can conquer hate. Somebody tell me what's picket lines, picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me. You can see what's going on.
Again, we thank you for your participation. We thank you for your generous donation, and even those who wanted to give but didn't have anything to give. We praise God for you, and we continue to pray for each and every one of you all. Again, please travel safely on your way home. Thank you so much for coming. We love you, and we will see you next Saturday when the push is on again. Thank you. Be blessed.